there, and there is sportsnewsandbrews.com. Oh, man, it's good to be back in the saddle. Man, can't believe it. Anyway, a lot of things going on, and before we jump back into this HBCU conversation, I just want to let everybody know. Had a great time a couple weeks ago. Of course, this weekend, let me just back up. This weekend, we have a big fight going down. Triple G taking on Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas. And I know this has absolutely nothing to do with HBCU sports, but I just got to mention it. For all my real boxing heads out there, this is the fight. This is it. A couple of weeks ago, we had Mayweather and McGregor. And, you know, I just happened to be on hand for that. Big shouts out to the Gary group for making that happen for me. But I had the opportunity to be out there for that spectacle, and that's just what it was. But this weekend, this is going to be tonight, to be exact. This is going to be a great fight. I mean, a great fight. I do these radio hits up in Seattle on Thursdays, Z-Twins Radio with KB and JB on Game Time Radio. And let me tell you something. They have Triple G. Everybody that's a part of their show, the producers and the two hosts, have Triple G winning this thing. I'm going with Canelo. I'm going with Canelo. And if you listen to the show right now, you can hit me up via social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rob Calloway 3, ROBCALLOWAY, the number 3. Or you can follow the show at HBCU Report. Not really on Facebook with the show. Been kind of lazy with that, but definitely on Twitter, Instagram. You want to follow us? You want to tell me that I'm wrong? If you're a boxing fan, now you got to be a real boxing fan. See, this not that typical Floyd Mayweather, versus a Hispanic type crap where all the black folks just go with Floyd. Like, this is a real fight right here. Yes, sir. It's going down tonight. Anyway, my boy Jay Walker of ESPN, for those of you that are just tuning into this show, Jay Walker of ESPN does a lot of the HBCU games, good friend of the show, and he has this thing called Give Me 5, for all of you that are familiar with him. Give me 5, and then he gives you his list of 5 things. So my boy, Jay, who is arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in HBCU sports out of Howard University, shouts out to him. And shouts out to young Newton. By the way, that was something big that happened, a couple weeks ago. That thing, that Howard thing, that was something else versus UNLV. But anyway, Jay always has to dip his nose into the marching band biz. And for those of you that don't know about Rob Calloway is the marching band aficionado. He's in the marching band at the great Southwest DeKalb University, Southwest DeKalb High School, Decatur, Georgia, Stand-Up Panthers. Member of the Mighty Marching Hornets, the Miracle Band of Alabama State University. Yeah, State. And I take it personal, and not just me, but all the band heads around the world. Yeah, I said around the world. Yeah, we all take this stuff personal. So my boy Jay Walker, and you can follow him on Twitter at Jay Skywalker. I think that's it. Gave the world his preliminary Give Me 5 marching band poll. And my band folks are hot. Oh, my God. Social media was a buzz this week. Really, yesterday. Oh, my God. Folks were losing their mind. And you might lose your mind, too, if you're a band head or if you went to a university and you think your band was great. But checking in at number 5, the Florida A&M Incomparable Marching 100. Number 5. Well, here's the thing about that. Since that whole hazing thing happened at FAMU, they haven't really been visible in my neck of the woods. And once upon a time ago, Atlanta was FAMU's playground. They'd be in the Atlanta Football Classic or the Heritage Bowl back in the day. Every year, it seemed like. But so I haven't really seen them. So if they say number 5, FAMU holds a special place in my heart, even though I didn't go there. I thought I was going there. But FAMU is always number 1 in my heart. but Jay has him number 5. Okay. But see, here's where things get kind of cloudy, because there's no way in hell. I'm sorry, Jay. You are my boy. But there's no way that you're ever going to rank Grambling's world fame Marching Tigers over the FAMU Marching 100, or over anybody for that matter. I'm sorry, dude. They have bass drums and wheelbarrows. I'm sorry. Then at number 3, I can go for this. The Jackson State Sonic Boom of the South. As much as I'm not really a fan of Jackson State, I love the band. I mean, yeah. I think they do a great job with what they do. They love to dance, but they do a good job. Checking in at number 2 on Jay Walker's Gimme 5. The Bethune-Cookman Marching Wildcats. Another really good band. I like that. I like them. And he said one thing during his commentary. He was like that Bethune-Cookman is now the reigning band champion in the state of Florida. And I can go for that, because there was, when that whole hazing thing surfaced and all that stuff a couple years ago, there was a changing of the guards, if you will. And then at number 1, a band that, again, I can't argue with this, because year in and year out, I mean, their perfection is their name. Sound is their game. They do the same half. Have you seen Southern University 4 years, or have you seen them 4 or 5 times? Yeah, that's what you're going to get on the field every time. But, again, it's all about precision and sound. And so he has them checking in at number 1. So shouts out to them. Can't argue with that. But then he had 2 honorable mentions. The first honorable mention was the Alabama State University Mighty Marching Hornets and Miles College. I like Miles College band. They're on the come up. Damn shame they're in the SIAC, though. So they don't really get to see the competition that schools like the SWAC schools get to see. Yeah, and I'm a real band head for those of you just tuning in, but I'm going to get off of this. But anyway, shouts out to Jay Walker. He'll be joining the show a couple times this season as we get you ready for the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. And he'll also be on hand for the Magic City Classic. So in a couple weeks when we do our Magic City Classic preview, the big extravaganza, as I call it, Jay Walker would definitely be a part of the show. Couple other things before we go to break and come back and get into the thick of things. A couple other news and notes since we last joined you. My boy, Tarik Cohen, out of North Carolina A&T University, was selected with the 119th pick in the NFL draft by the Chicago Bears. And in his first game last week versus the Falcons, he racked up 159 all-purpose yards and a touchdown in the Bears' 23-17 loss to the Falcons. Last season, we had the opportunity to speak with Tarik, and coming up on the other side for all of our new listeners and those of you that might have missed the interview that we had with him last year, we're going to replay about 6 or 7 minutes of that interview just so you can get familiar with this guy. And familiar is the word. Familiarity is the word. That's the word for the day. Because that's what I need everybody to do with this young man. Become familiar. Have some familiarity with this young man. Because I definitely think that he's going to be the next, I was going to say big thing, but he's a little guy. But he's going to be the next it guy. I'll say that. And shouts out to the Bears for taking a chance on Tarik Cohen. And, it's so crazy because, historically, when you go back, the last great running back that black college football really had, in my opinion, on the level of a Tarik Cohen was Walter Payton. And, of course, everybody knows what Walter Payton did all of his wonderful things in Chicago, Soldier Field, same stadium, please believe. So coming up on the other side, we will replay our interview with Tarik Cohen from last season right here on the HBCU Report, being heard live via TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and now the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. You can download the HBCU Report on demand via Google Play for Android and also iTunes. We're powered by our content partner, sportsnewsandbrews.com, your official source for all things sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. When we're not here, we're there, and there is sportsnewsandbrews.com.
Follow the HBCU Report on Twitter. Become a fan on Facebook at HBCU Report. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
HBCU sports fans, you finally have a voice. The HBCU experience lives here. This is the HBCU Report with Rob Calloway.
This is the HBCU Report being heard live via TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and now the Two Live Stews Radio Network. You can download the HBCU Report on demand via Google Play for Android and iTunes. We're powered by our content partner, sportsnewsandbrews.com, your official source for all things sports, black news, political news, and the latest on your favorite craft beers. Log on to sportsnewsandbrews.com right now. And as I mentioned before we went to break, we had the opportunity of catching up with Tarik Cohen last season during his final year there at North Carolina A&T. And as we get familiar, well, as you guys get familiar with Tarik Cohen as he lays his own groundwork there in the NFL, I just want you guys to get a few minutes of what Tarik Cohen is really all about. Again, this interview was from last season prior to the NFL draft. First of all, Tarik, thank you for joining us on the HBCU Report.
How you doing? Thank you for having me.
All right, great, man. Glad to have you on the show. First off, I got to congratulate you on all your success. You've been racking up honors and awards since your freshman year, and now you're the all-time leading rusher in MEAC history. How does it feel?
It feels great. It's like kind of putting the cherry on top of my career here at A&T, and it just like goes to show that all the hard work that's been put in during the off seasons has paid off.
Now, growing up in Bond, North Carolina, did you ever envision having this much success and everything that comes along with it?
No, I never thought about this part. Like, growing up, you know, everybody wants to make it to the NFL. They never think about, like, the journey to the NFL. I just thought about being in the NFL and being a good player in the NFL. But I never could have imagined about the notoriety that I have when I'm only in college.
So how old are you, Tarik?
I turned 21 in July.
Oh, my God. Only to be 21 again. So that means you're definitely way too young to have ever seen Walter Payton play football, but I know you've seen highlights, right?
Oh, of course.
So what are your thoughts on having your name mentioned in the same conversation as Walter Payton as possibly the greatest HBCU running back ever?
First of all, it's just an honor to be recognized as one of the top players and to be among great running backs, sort of likes of himself. And also, it makes me optimistic because of the great career he had, not only in college and in black college football, but in the NFL. And it just gives me great hope that I can do well in the NFL also.
This is the HBCU Report. Rob Calloway on the line right now with Tarik Cohen. He is the all-time leading rusher in MEAC history. North Carolina A&T running back. They're in action today, 1 o'clock, versus Howard University. It is Howard's homecoming, or GHO, as they call it, the greatest homecoming on earth. Never been there, but that's what they say. Now, who are some of the current running backs, Tarik, that you look up to today that you actually tried to emulate?
The safety backs, such as like Jamal Charles, you know, LaShawn McCoy, one of my favorites. And then I also like a couple power backs because I like delivering both to the defensive players so they don't think at my stature that I can do that. So for the likes of LeGarrette Blount. I like his style of play, and Marshawn Lynch.
Now, I just want to get your opinion on something. Now, I tell high school students all the time that because of social media, if you're good, the NFL and scouts will find you even at the HBCU level. Do you agree?
Most definitely, because